In this episode, we learn more about the community event hosted by Massive Entertainment in Sweden, then discuss the Division Alpha without breaking NDA, and chat about preparations for the beta. Then the Super 90 shotgun wraps it up with a weapon review. So sit back, strap in, and prepare to enter the Dark Zone.
Rogue protocol initiated.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to Rogue Agent Radio, Episode 11, your place for all things Tom Clancy's The Division. I'm one of your hosts, Boomslang. Joining me, as always, is the man with the voice, Deep Fried Dave. How's it going, Dave?
Very not bad. Boom.
That's not what you said earlier.
I've went up. I feel about 10% better than I did about 15 minutes ago. So no,
that's because we're
no,
recording
no.
a podcast, so
Yeah.
you automatically feel better.
There you go. Yep.
Yeah. The thing about the voice, though, is pretty cool because a lot of we'll talk about it a little bit later. When I went to Sweden, they were like, "Hey, you're the guy with the podcast with the guy on the podcast with the voice, the really deep voice. That guy's awesome." So yeah, you're a big hit over there in Sweden with the voice.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks,
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a compliment, so I would feel good about it. And finally, we have the rock star of gaming, Bless Doom. How's it going, Doom?
Pretty good, man. Just got back from band practice and little worn out from that. We're in a writing phase right now, so we just spent 2 hours in there just working on about just the tiniest little section of a new song, and it's just yeah.
Is it rough?
Yeah, it's weird. It's been a while since we've worked on new stuff, so it's been nice. We finally have a decent practice space, so it's nice to get back into the writing phase. We've been around for we've been a band for like 11 years, so trying to get excited about new stuff and getting going again, it's
right.
It can be a little bit of a struggle sometimes, but yeah.
The whole writing phase for a band is interesting to me because, like, for me personally, I feel like that would be really hard to think of like lyrics and write songs and stuff. Like, I can just play around on a guitar and make stuff up, but I could never make a whole song. So that's pretty cool that you guys have that talent to be able to do that.
Yeah, it was weird. We all have our own little jobs when it comes to writing. You know, we have one guy who's responsible for most of the music, and then the drummer kind of does his thing. As for me, I sing and play guitar, so we all work on lyrics. But what I do for the most part, because I'm rhythm guitar and vocals,
right,
I just sit back and listen to all the guys play, and then I kind of pick out the parts while they're playing, and then say, okay, let's take that and do this and blah blah blah. So we each have our job. You know, when it comes, we've been together for a long time, so it's kind of we've just fallen into our sections.
You just pick up on the roles and go with it.
Mm-hmm.
So, Dave, what have you been up to lately besides being sick? You've been sick, pretty rough sick, haven't you?
Yeah, I got it twice, man. Went over to the UK for a week for work. Thought I dodged the flu. The whole family had it while I was gone. Came back. Got that pretty hardcore 2 days later.
That sucks.
I think the remnants of what I have now is just from a lack of taking care of myself and a lack of sleep during the Division Alpha.
Yeah.
So I think now my body is just kind of readjusting to having the proper amount of sleep and food and
Did you have
broccoli
really bad
and
jet lag?
whatever else it was.
Was the jet lag really bad?
Yeah, coming back it was. Actually, I thought I was going to be able to recover pretty quick, but excuse me, it took a day to get over the jet lag at least.
I was surprised that the jet lag didn't really faze me at all when I went to Sweden and when I came back. But I was like, that's kind of weird because I think they're 6 hours ahead of me.
Yeah.
I think they're Central European time. They're 6. I was thinking they were 7 at one time. I don't know why I was thinking that.
How long does it take to fly there?
So I flew from Nashville to Newark, and then from Newark to Copenhagen, and that was like a 7 7-hour flight. I don't remember the exact
wow.
time exactly, but yeah, it was like a 7-hour. It was long enough that I could take a nap, watch 3 movies, and listen to like a podcast. So it was a pretty good flight. But yeah,
Yep.
It's been a while since I've been on a long flight like that. It's been a few years.
it was an interesting adventure. We'll talk about it a little bit more when we get into the news, because maybe that's news. I don't know. We'll just throw it in there. But anyways, Rogue Agent Radio is your base of operations for the Division news, information, game discussions, and agent trust issues. You can find us on iTunes by searching Rogue Agent Radio, where we post the show every Monday, or occasionally every Monday. Sometimes we miss out, like this last week, but that was special. So anyways, go to iTunes, subscribe, rate, review, tell your friends, all that good stuff. Also check us out on our official website, RogueAgentRadio.com, where you can find the links to all our podcasting wares and social media hubs, such as Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all that good stuff. So let's begin episode 11 with the news of the week. So as I said earlier in the prologue, we were chatting a little bit, I got to go to Sweden and play the Division and hang out at Massive Entertainment Studios. What?
Tell us about that, Boom.
Well, getting there was a little frustrating. So I go to the airport, whatever. I live in Tennessee, so I went to Knoxville. Tiny little airport, wouldn't think it'd be that big of a deal. But the weather was kind of rough. So my first flight got canceled. Yeah, that was a little frustrating. So I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off, trying to figure out what to do so I could get there in time. So I called the guys at, in Malmo, trying to figure it out, because when my flight got canceled, they were all asleep. So I didn't know what to do. So I messaged them on literally everything I could think of. Skype, WhatsApp, Twitter, Facebook, you name it. I messaged them like, my flight was canceled. What do I do? Because I didn't, that's the first time I've ever flown internationally. I didn't know how, what to do and stuff, transferring flights or whatever. It was only the second time I'd ever flown in my life. The first time was earlier this year when I went to E3. So eventually we get it worked out, get my flight from out of Nashville. So I had to drive to Nashville. It was like 2 hours away. Drive to Nashville, get on the plane, fly up to Newark. That flight got delayed 4 hours. I was like, oh my gosh, are you serious? But anyways, I finally get on my plane to fly to Newark. This is the where things started to get a little bit better. So I get up on the plane, I look at my ticket, and I don't know, it's a really big plane or whatever. Walk up to the flight attendant, whatever. I said, where's 7E? They're like, oh, right around the corner. So I walked around the corner, and I start walking through first class, and then I get, towards the end of first class, and I look up at the seat number and look down at my ticket. I look up at the seat number and look down at my ticket. Guess who got to ride first class from Newark to Copenhagen? This guy. So I was like, okay, this kind of makes up for it. I mean, I had so much leg room. I don't think I could have reached out and touched the seat in front of me if I stretched my legs out. And I'm 6'2". So it was awesome. So I just, as soon as we got up, and I think that's what helped my jet lag. As soon as we got up and everything leveled out, I just pushed the button and laid all the way down and slept pretty much for like 6 hours. Or I didn't really sleep. I more like rested my eyes. So we get there. I get off the plane. Yannick's there to me.
It sounds like we had very different international flights.
Yeah.
Because mine for work, yours for pleasure, and already the seating is much different.
Well, I think the reason I got first class is because they saw my flight had been canceled and everything, so they probably felt bad for me. Because I went back and looked at my ticket before, because I had printed out my boarding pass and everything before I ever left the house. And so I get to the airport in Newark, and I didn't really know where to go exactly, so I went up to the check-in and ticket counter and was asking him, hey, I need to find the gate. Where do I need to go? So they're like, oh, we'll take care of you. So they did everything, printed me out a new ticket. So I was like, okay, go down through there. Didn't think anything of it. I would have sat in like economy or whatever, but they changed my ticket to first class. I was like, yes,
Nice
thank you
work.
so much. I was so excited. So anyways, I land in Copenhagen. Yannick's there to pick me up. We get on the train, ride from Copenhagen to Malmo, Sweden, which is so weird to me that you can get on a train and ride for 30 minutes and you're in another country. That is so foreign to me in this country. This country, you ride 30 minutes on anything and you're barely out of the county. You might not even be out of the county. You might be in the next city over. It just blows my mind how close everything is over there. And but yeah, it was the first time first time ever riding on a train like that, which is pretty cool. So we get there, and I can't go into details about what we did inside of the studios. All I can say is a lot of cool community things are going to happen. People should be excited about it. People and massive listens to the community. Like, they care so much about what's going on, what we're talking about, what the community is saying. They're paying attention. It's not like, they're just sitting in their offices doing everything on their own, not paying any attention to, people like us, people like people on the subreddit, anywhere really, Twitter. So that was really cool just to see it from a in-person perspective, that they really are paying attention to what we're saying, and it influences decisions that they make on the game and stuff like that. The city is really cool. I think there was only like 1 or 2 roads that I actually saw cars on. Everybody walks everywhere or rides bikes or takes the train. So that was pretty cool. They're very space efficient. Like my hotel room, everything was a lot smaller, but everything worked. Like the shower door was nothing, like the shower and the bathroom was all one floor, and it was all tile. And there was just like a little glass door that separated the rest of the bathroom from the shower area. And I was like, man, if this was in the States, like this would be tiny, because the whole shower would be closed off, and then the toilet takes up way more room. So it just, I don't know, it was kind of cool. But it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I wish I could tell people more, but
So can you tell us, like, well, how did it come about, or like who were some of the people there? Just kind of get an idea, like what they were trying to pull together.
yeah, definitely. They didn't pull together as many of, like, there weren't a lot of big YouTubers or big people you would expect. They wanted to get, I guess, people from a more, I don't know, like it was a more of, the everyday people that you expect, that just love the game, that are passionate about this game. There were the Caleb McAllister from Smartwatch podcast was there. James Getty from, or also known as Digital Hitman, who runs the Division blog, was there. Who else was there? There was Joker Unique from the Division subreddit, the one who wrote the Division FAQ, was there.
Nice.
There was some more community people from like Germany. One was who runs the Division France fan page, the Division like Dark Zone fan page. Let's see, who else was there? There were some cosplayers. Matthew Shields was one of them. I can't remember all their names exactly. I'm sorry if you're listening to this podcast. I know your faces and I can remember your names. I just have a hard time placing names with faces because there was a lot of people there. But it was really cool. I really enjoyed it. All the people there were really great, really excited for the game. It was awesome to experience that community firsthand and see what everyone was doing. We got posters and things that we can give away. I still have several posters I need to give away, and they gave us unique T-shirts with like the Division World Tour, whatever, with everybody's names on the back, which was really cool. I won't be giving that one away, so you guys that's one thing that's gonna stay with me forever. But yeah, it was pretty cool. Yeah, you guys have any questions about it? Like I can sit here and ramble, but I want to know what you guys want to know about it.
Well, I want to hear more about my deep voice.
Well, we were sitting in the lunchroom, and because I showed up, I got there a couple hours late, and so everybody was like eating lunch already, and I walked in, and they're like, "Hey, this is the guy with the Rogue Agent Radio podcast," And one of the guys, I think he was the one that I was telling you a little while ago who listened to the podcast and fell asleep to it and then dreamed about us. Yeah. I can't remember your name exactly. I apologize. I have you on Twitter. I will find your name afterwards and hit you up, whatever. But he works on the I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say what he works on exactly, so I'll just say that he works on the game. But yeah, he came up and he's like, "Hey, yeah, you're the one with the podcast with the guy with the deep voice," and everyone's like, "Yeah, Dave's kind of the reason the show went viral in the office." And I was like, "Oh, that's cool."
Get out.
Radio voice. Yeah.
Well, apparently, I lulled him to sleep. You said it was the same guy who fell asleep listening.
Well, he was going to bed. I mean,
Okay,
it wasn't like he was sitting at his desk working on the game. Oh, this podcast is boring. No, that's not it. I think he was going to bed, so he was already tired, and he was listening to us as he was going to sleep. So, to think about it, you were the last thing. Like our voices were the last thing he was thinking about as he went to bed, and he dreamed about us.
I'm not sure how to take that.
I would take it as a compliment. So
Okay, all right.
But
All right.
yeah,
pretty
all
funny,
in
though.
all, it was a really cool trip. There's gonna be a lot of cool things coming from it. I can't, like I said, I can't go into details exactly. Really cool city. Hope I get to go back. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. I guess that's
That'd be awesome. Sweden's one of the only places in the world that I really want to go.
Yeah.
There's just a few places there, and Australia are like the two of the places that I'd really like to go to at some point.
Yeah.
And,
I'd like to be able to go and actually look around, go to different cities and things. I didn't have time to do that while I was there.
Yeah, so you didn't get to get out too much and get around.
No,
or
yeah, not really.
Pretty much pretty busy the whole time.
Yeah, pretty much. Because my flights were delayed. Gosh.
Yeah.
Thanks, United. Yeah. Anyways, that's pretty much it. If anybody wants to know like any other smaller details that don't involve me being behind the walls of the studio, you feel free to hit me up on Twitter at Boomslang, 2Gs and _. I can talk about it. The next thing we had on the docket here, the Division Alpha is over, but the beta is going. Sad
You just had to say it. I mean, we could have just
ignored it, Deep breath.
I felt really guilty playing, knowing that Doom couldn't play. It was so tough playing with just the two of us and him not being there. I almost stopped playing.
I was
I didn't.
I was sad. I was sad all week.
Yeah, I felt bad, but then I went back to playing and I forgot. So if that makes you feel any better.
Yeah, I just couldn't. I couldn't bring myself to go and buy an Xbox. I really wanted to get one. I mean, just for the alpha, and I totally would have too. But I got a wedding that I'm trying to pay for parts of, and
those aren't cheap.
Yeah,
so if you want to get started, start saving up.
If she's a bride, you can't get away with it. If she's a wife, maybe you got a little more leg room, but not a good time.
Yeah, and if I literally, that would be the only thing I would be buying the Xbox for, was just for that alpha. And like I said, under normal circumstances, I totally would have done it. Mm-hmm. But
bought it and then returned it.
Yeah,
I don't know how that goes normally.
Yeah.
But I know some people have done that in the past with different games. So.
Yeah.
I will say I ended up getting a lot of people on my friends list from the community because I didn't have any Xbox friends, but I really didn't get to play with too many.
Yeah,
I think it's a lot of time zone differences because everyone is all over the world,
right?
Which is really cool. So, and the alpha is such a small snapshot of time. I'm just looking forward to playing with people. I just want to let everyone know that I didn't get to play with everyone I wanted to. So I'm looking forward to that part of it, though.
Yeah, that's the same here. We can get a little more into detail about playing with people in the just the general topic of the week. But yeah, definitely. I didn't have any friends either when I first started, and then I can have quite a few on there now. So let's go ahead and transition into listener mail. As a reminder, you can be part of Rogue Agent Radio by sending us your questions and topics to RogueAgentRadio@gmail.com, where they will be answered on the show. First up, we have Frozen Sticker. Hey, RAR. Simple question for you guys. Do you think in the Division we'll be able to have last names / spaces in our names? Thanks, Rosen Sticker. I think like some RPGs allow you to do that, like make your own name, or MMOs, like I remember in DC Universe Online, you were able to name your hero, which I hit like a brick wall when I did that. I was like, I don't know what I would name my hero, Batman Jr. or something. I, I don't really know. I don't think they would do that because considering it's more of an RPG, multiplayer game. So I don't know what like the whole coding and things like that that goes into being able to make your own name and stuff. I don't think it would be in there. What do you guys think?
I think it'll probably stay more with your gamer tag and probably won't allow you to do too much changing. Just kind of more of a traditional, I guess, from an RPG standpoint. The only time I've personally been able to do that is just like when you name, like you said, when you name your character.
Right.
Or, either name your character or there's a gamer tag associated with it, depending on how the relationship in the game works. That's been my only experience in other games.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Dim?
Yeah. That's I kind of assume that it'll just be your screen name, your PSN or Xbox gamer tag. That's just kind of, I would assume that that's all.
Yeah, I'd say the only thing that you could really change is a clan tag if that's going to be in the game, which we saw that in like the E3 2015. They had like the stock names, they had like clan tag _dev1, clan tag _dev2, things like that. So hopefully we'll be able to have our clan tags show up on the game. But yeah, I'd say just it'll be your gamer tag or whatever it is. And then if there's clan tags, they'll be in front of it. Yeah, that's a good question, though. I know a lot of people have been wondering about that because it is an RPG MMO style game. So next up, we have Tubby02. He says, "Hi, team. I've loved being a part of the Division community in the lead up to this game. There isn't a day that goes by lately without some sort of community rumbles about the Division. I think when the game finally comes out, the community will change slightly to chatting about gameplay rather than the speculation and guessing game that has been filled with our lives for the past 3 years. I would hope so, because the game will be out. So my question to the team, what has been your highlight of being part of the lead up community?" I thought this is a really good question. Yeah. So Doom, I'm going to let you lead this off. What has been your favorite part about being a part? I'm going to say part enough times right here to get the point across. What has been your favorite thing about being part of this community of the Division?
Well, to be honest, just being on this podcast, being able to be a part of this, like I've been into podcasts for years, and I've always wanted to do one, and just having the opportunity to be a host on a podcast and for it to be a part of a game that I'm super excited for, and this community that's really starting to come together. That's been my favorite part. I've been looking since I joined Resolute. About a year ago, I've been looking for a way to get involved, in the gaming community in some way. I thought it was going to be Twitch streaming, and that's, that it's okay. I don't really have the personality for that necessarily.
It takes a certain kind of person.
Yeah, but like I said, I've been into podcasts for a long time, and this really feels right for me, and to be in this early into a game that I think is going to be a pretty big deal. That's definitely been my highlight, as and with us, getting the listeners and the success and the everything that we've had, just what we've had so far. Like I've been really happy with it, and really happy that everybody seems to enjoy the show.
Yeah,
and
the feedback has been crazy. I'm excited. Yep. You're making me all foggy-eyed over here being part of the podcast.
Yeah, I mean, I super appreciate everybody that's interacted with us, and everybody that likes it, and all the new all the new Twitter friends that I have, and all that stuff. Like that's definitely been my highlight.
The support has been overwhelming,
Yes.
to say the least. It has been awesome. I love this community. What about you, Dave? What's been your favorite part?
Oof. The whole experience has been awesome for me, and I don't want to say this is it's everything I was anticipating, because being in the position I was with the Dads of Destiny, and I don't know, I keep talking about it, but just playing that role in helping foster that community itself around a game that already had an established community.
Right.
There's a lot of things that I absolutely loved about doing that. And one of the biggest things you love about doing that is, and a lot of people don't realize, like, I think you've mentioned it, even just how much time you spend of your personal time to do things.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, like your YouTube videos, or just a lot of the things that people do for the community itself. And all that time you put in there, once it gets recognized, it just makes it all worthwhile. An example being, when Dads of Destiny, I was just the guy that if you couldn't log in or register, I handled all the forum admin stuff and handled all the web registration stuff. So I just get random emails from guys all the time, and I'd just be a quick response to my phone. Hey, yep, I'll look in that tomorrow, man. And you get in front of my computer.
Right.
And then you would get the responses back. Hey, appreciate everything you guys are doing. This is a great community. This is so awesome. And then that's the charge that you get to kind of keeps you going on the time that you put into it. So already, you're starting to see that form, which is great. And people just appreciating each other, appreciating what each one of us are doing individually for the community, and trying to see where they can fit into it. Because that you're going to have a great community when you have people that just come up and they see what's going on and they say, how can I get involved?
Right.
And not just sit back and wait, excuse me, and let everybody else do it. You already have people that just come in and just say, well, how can I get involved in this community? And I think that's just awesome.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, like Doom was saying, that just the community that's already started, that's forming around this game, is so cool. And being here at the beginning of it and being able to like spearhead this interaction between community and developer and things that are going on, it's really exciting. I mean, my favorite part so far has, like you guys, been able to start this podcast, doing this YouTube, talking about this game with other people, seeing other people get excited. This last week when the alpha happened, I was literally just like grinning from ear to ear when I would hear people's reactions to it and things, because I have been so invested in this game, whether it's through talking to people about it, talking to the developers, making videos on it, putting time into it, making this podcast, talking with you guys. It's been awesome. And to have all this support from everyone and having them, like you're saying, Dave, like, what can we do to help? What can we do to engage in this community and be a part of this, and to get the recognition from the developers that I got to go to Sweden and talk to them about things and play the game early before, and stuff like that. Like it's been a dream come true. Like I never expected any of this to ever happen. And I still, it blows my mind that it even did happen. But my favorite part is just been this podcast and been the YouTube, and just sharing the experience with people, talking to people, having these conversations with you guys, and just, I don't know, this is all kind of new to me. I've never done a YouTube before or a podcast before this game. And now it's like, why was I never doing this? This is awesome. Being able to talk to, you meet all these kinds of different people from across the world, and you get to see these different views of the game and have these different conversations and things. It's awesome. And I can't wait to see, where it goes after the game launches and how the community reacts to it. It's exciting. So that's a great question, Tubby. That's a really good question. It's kind of made me ponder, like where it all started and why I'm excited for it. So that was a good one.
Yeah.
So we'll go ahead and move into topic of the week. This week, we're going to, I guess, discuss a little bit about the alpha, what we can at least, and then how we suggest people prepare for the beta, which will happen in early 2016. No official dates on it yet. Hopefully it's in January, but, you know, it could be later.
So when this beta comes out, is it going to be just Xbox or is it going to be both this time? Do we know that?
Be everything. PlayStation,
Okay, awesome.
I'm pretty sure Xbox and PC. So everyone will have a chance to play it. So, but to get this is probably going to be a shorter topic of the week. This whole episode is probably going to be a shorter episode. Hopefully we'll be able to talk about more stuff in the coming days. Dave, what was your impression of the alpha within the NDA disclosures, I guess?
Within? Oh, okay.
Or we can say, yeah. What was your impressions of the alpha? What were your favorite parts? Let's go for it.
Well, you know, my favorite parts. Well, me being a stat guy, I love that every time that you opened up, you would see the little of where you're going,
Yeah.
or you would see where each little was, or each location, like, and it would show you where back to your and how you can from that to the dark zone, or I mean all the details.
You know what my favorite part about?
What was your favorite part?
My favorite part about is that you could to and that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
like
that
within
was
the open world.
That was so cool, man. I can't believe they did that. And then when they what I'm saying?
I like
and
how
then, right.
when you explore the world and the things in the world go and you can see you have to like close to things and then they'll and you have to bar on it and be able to so that was pretty cool too.
Yeah, but honestly, I think if you ask me, I kept hearing the word ambitious used, and I've heard the developers used it, and I started to use it once I understand the scope of the project.
Mm-hmm.
And when they say, and what I've said, you look at step back and look at everything that they're trying to accomplish, it is really ambitious.
Yeah.
And when you play the game, you really have to take a step back and just look at all the parts and pieces and what they're trying to do and put it all together. There's a lot of things in there that I've never seen before.
Mm-hmm.
And they're trying to merge all these different aspects and genres of gaming, which is working, and it's really ambitious. And if it seems to be working. And so when you see something that ambitious start coming together, you've just always been talking about it. And now you play it and you realize, yes, it's ambitious, but yes, they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
So
there's going to be so much editing in that section. That's going to be awesome though.
Oh, wait. There was an NDA.
Whoa, what? Wait. Oh, dang it.
I hadn't heard that.
See,
Sorry.
I never agreed to an NDA, but I don't know anything to to say.
This is true. This is true. Hey, spill your guts, dude.
Yeah.
I honestly don't know anything. Everybody's under NDA, so nobody said anything, so I don't know anything.
Well, with an NDA approved opinion, I freaking loved it, and I cannot wait for people to play the beta. And I'm sure pretty much everyone that I played with said that they loved it, so that was really exciting for me to hear.
That is one thing I can say is that with what little bit that I did hear, I didn't hear anything negative.
Yeah. Yeah, every poll that was put out on like Twitter or whatever, like, did you enjoy the beta or the alpha? Yes or no? And then like 90% of people would say yes, and then 10% would say no. So it's really positive, for an alpha to have that be received that well. It's pretty exciting. What about you, Dave? NDA approved opinion.
NDA approved opinion. I mean, I've played a couple alphas. This is my third alpha I've played, and I really was impressed about how crisp it was.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's always going to be things, and you'll find people on the internet that will complain about the 2 bugs that they got, but that's kind of the whole point of the alpha, right? And I know part of the point is trying to see how many people we can jam into this game before it breaks. I'm guessing that's part of it anyway, right?
Yeah, that's what they said. It was going to be just a server, more of a server test than anything.
Yeah.
And the whole bugs thing was why it was under NDA, because everyone knows even full games are going to have bugs.
Oh yeah, and people, if there wasn't under, so I don't know, it's maybe a good topic to say if we agree if it was under NDA, and I agree that this is a good fit for an NDA if you're going to do it. I know some YouTubers and streamers would be a little upset, but it's an alpha. You know, you're just going to be showing, there were some bugs, there were some quirky things going on that just need a little bit polishing. That's what it's about, and people, you'll just give people wrong expectations out of the gate.
Yeah, when it's an unfinished product, it doesn't need to be advertised to the world.
Yes. So overall, I really, really enjoyed what I was playing. Didn't want to put it down, and that's a non-fanboy thing.
Yeah.
That's. I have my opinions on some things that areas of opportunity, but even if I could talk about them, I wouldn't even bring them up because it's the alpha.
Right.
Hell, I don't know. You know what I mean? You don't know what's missing or there or, so it's one of those things you got to let it flesh out a little bit, but it's going to be big. It's, a lot of my clan mates that I did play with, that a lot, it wasn't a lot on the alpha, but they all agreed that, this is, I hate to use the word destiny killer, but because it carries some weight.
Yeah.
However,
I heard a couple people throw that term around too.
It's definitely going to be an experience that people are looking for to take them away from Destiny. Destiny keeps bringing people back because they're missing something, and I think this game will provide that.
Yeah, it's definitely we've known this. So this is not even really NDA. And I can say it because I played at E3. It's a fun co-op shooter. It works really, really well with friends. When the 20-minute demo was a perfect example of how much fun it can be. That's the most fun I've ever had with a 20-minute section of a video game, ever. And I'm not, and it might have been the excitement or whatever, but now after I've played the alpha and, like you're saying, it's not a fanboy thing. It exceeded my expectations. And so I was pleasantly surprised. And I'm just going to leave it at that. So, But for the next kind of thing I wanted to talk about was the beta preparations. Now, hopefully, the beta isn't going to be under an NDA, so we can make videos and talk about it freely and stuff like that. So, what do we as Rogue Agent Radio suggest people do in preparation for the beta? Dave, go for it.
One thing I actually did, which helped me out, is it's been a while since I'd gotten my hands on the third person cover based game.
Yeah.
So like 2 weeks ago, I just popped in Grand Theft Auto 5, played it for a little bit just to kind of remember how the cover system worked, in third person shooter. And I played some Uncharted is one of my favorite series. So I played a little bit of Uncharted too. Uncharted 3, but Uncharted as well. And just to kind of get more familiar with that.
Right.
And so those were a couple of things I did, especially if you're not used to a third person cover based game, because it's really important. When they keep saying it, it's cover based. You got to use cover. You got to use cover. You got to use cover. So I think that's something good to try out and do, just so you're not surprised when you start playing it. And now, I don't want to say surprised, but if you haven't played one, there are some out there that you can get your hands on.
You're not like, where's the crouch button? How come I can't crouch?
Right. Exactly. So that helped me out quite a bit, doing something like that.
Yeah. I can't wait till this NDA list, because there's so many things I want to say, but I can't say it. It's killing me right now. I'm like, it's all trying to come out, and I'm trying to be like, no, you can't talk. What about you, Doom? What are you going to do to prepare for the beta?
I might do something similar to Dave, get some of those third-person games. I can usually transition back and forth, between first person and third person pretty good, but it actually has been a while since I've played a third person game now that I think about it. I play Fallout in first person.
Yeah.
I don't. So I might. I did kind of skip the last Grand Theft Auto, so maybe I'll jump into that and kind of get the feel for it and that kind of stuff. I think the other smart thing to do would be, I'm not sure which game other than a straight up MMO, but learn how the different roles work.
Yeah, definitely.
Tank, healer, DPS. At least learn about what each different role is and how they should work. That way you don't just jump in. You kind of have an idea when you get in and group up with people, and you're not just out there trying to cowboy solo everything,
Right.
and that sort of thing. But
I would agree.
yeah,
I mean, I'm probably gonna do some The Last of Us, 'cause that's pretty close. It's very similar in mechanics and things. And I can say this because I played it at E3. I'm just not. I'm not breaking NDA. Sorry, just Hamish, Antoine, whatever. Don't kick me.
It's still a third-person cover-based game, right?
Yeah, it's a third-person cover-based shooter. So it's use cover, be aware of your surroundings and things.
I will say that if you play a third-person cover-based shooter and you get frustrated by certain things you can and can't do in that cover-based shooter, and you haven't played the alpha, don't get hung up on those things.
Yeah.
in other games,
Right.
it's definitely a different experience, and
It's very smooth. I can say that because I played
when I
it
went
at
back
E3.
and I went back and played Grand Theft Auto 5, and I was like, "Why this is so frustrating? Why can't I go? Why can't I do what I want to do here to here or here to there, whatever?"
Right.
And then you go sit in the alpha for 10 seconds and realize that
You're
it's
like,
all this is the way it should. This is the way it should be.
Right.
So
Yeah. I guess a lot of people will be asking, what the beta is going to be available on. Well, the beta is going to be available in early 2016. Don't know whether that means January, February. Hopefully, I'm hoping it'll be January because February is a little late because the game comes out in early March. It will be available on all platforms: Xbox One, PS4, PC. The alpha was 23.2 gigabytes, I think. So expect a download size similar to that. So if you need to take your system over to a friend's house and download it, be watching for the dates. We'll announce those dates on the Twitter and stuff as soon as they become available. If you want a code to get into the alpha or the beta, because it is a closed beta, you're not gonna be able to just download it. So you'll need to either pre-order the game or sign up for the waiting list on the Division website. You can go over there and sign up for, hopefully they'll put you on the waiting list and then you can get in. Last time during the alpha, it went in the order of pre-order codes first, and then codes that were given out at special events like PAX, all those events. They gave out like little vouchers with codes. And then the people on the waiting list by order of like first come, first serve, like whoever signed up first. So I'm pretty sure just everybody on the waiting list got in on the alpha. So hopefully they'll be able to do the same thing with the beta. I can't make any promises. I don't know for sure. So we'll have to see. Hopefully we can give away some codes. Maybe I can get some codes from them if they're generous, and then we can giveaways on Twitter and things. Those normally work the best. Most people can get in on that. If you don't have a Twitter, go sign up for it. It's not that hard. Let's see.
And that's a good point, real quick, Rooms. I hated Twitter about a year ago.
Yeah.
I despise it and don't have anything to do with it. But honestly, if you don't do anything else, you could just follow the people in the community and get involved in the Division community. You can ignore everything else. But it is a great place where people just connect as a community instantly.
Yeah,
it's
super, super easy.
It is. So if you're not into it, I still just get on there, give it a shot. And then, if you follow Rogue Agent Radio, we have a list there, and we have a list dedicated to all of our, like, kind of our partners and all the people, developers in the community. So you can just follow everybody on that list, and you'll get a good start of the community.
Yep. Yeah, it's super easy. So go do it. I think that's it for the beta prep. I can't think of anything else. If you have any questions, you can hit any of us up on Twitter or email us with your questions for the beta, and then we'll try to get those answered. So with that, we're going to transition into our gun review. Doom, I know you have to be excited about this gun. So what are we going to be talking about? This is one you've wanted for a while.
Well, I had to do an all shotgun poll to get it in, but
to get the result. I'm going to have to start rigging these. So I want to talk about this gun.
I was fairly surprised. I thought people would be a little bit more excited about shotguns than what they were, but I get it. Assault rifles are sexy, but it might be because a lot of people may not have actually fired this particular shotgun, but I gotta tell you, it's a lot of fun. So
I want one.
Yeah, it's I've owned a variant of this.
Oh yeah.
I used to. I sold it for music gear years ago, but so this week we're talking about the M4 Super 90. So I know in game it's called just the Super 90, but the version. So this shotgun is made by Benelli.
Mm-hmm.
They have a bunch of different shotguns. They have the M1 Super 90, the M3 Super 90, and the M4 Super 90.
Right.
There might be a couple more, but those are the three that I know of for sure. So I don't know what Super 90 stands for, but it's just that series of guns. And then you have the M1, M3, M4. So the Benelli M4 Super 90 is an Italian semi-automatic shotgun manufactured by Benelli Army SPA. I don't know what SPA stands for. Don't ask. It's just what it said. So the M4 was the first gas-operated shotgun produced by Benelli. Its function is designed around an entirely new method called the auto-regulating gas-operated system, or ARGO. The short stroke design uses two stainless steel self-cleaning pistons located just ahead of the chamber to function opposite the rotating bolt, thereby eliminating the need for complex mechanisms found on other gas-actuated automatics.
So does that make it more reliable?
Yes.
Okay.
So the Argo incorporates only 4 parts, 2 symmetrical shrouds containing 2 small gas pistons. So, and I'll talk about it a little bit later. It's super reliable.
Sweet.
Yeah, and it's just real simple, but it's a really good shotgun.
Yeah.
It's used by a lot of military and law enforcement units.
Okay, so if you've seen a cop show or whatever, and you see the SWAT unit get out, they're probably carrying the Super 90.
Yes, that's it's a pretty good chance. I mean, there's a few go-to shotguns, but usually, especially with the way this one looks, a lot of times. With how cool it looks, a lot of times this is the gun you'll see.
Okay.
And you can tell the M4 because it usually has the collapsible buttstock.
Oh, okay.
Where it looks collapsible, because some of them actually don't. It looks like it should, but they don't. Weird. And then sometimes it has the full buttstock with the pistol grip and everything.
Yeah.
But generally, if it's the M4, it has the collapsible looking buttstock on it.
Okay.
So the weapon is self-regulating for use with cartridges of varying length and power. It can fire 2 3/4 inch and 3-inch shells of differing power levels without any operator adjustment and in any combination. Low power rounds such as less than lethal rubber pellets must be cycled manually. So this will let me talk about the actual version that I owned. I owned the M3 Super 90.
Okay.
So the difference in that one was it was convertible from pump to automatic.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it had a little
cool.
ring. Yeah, it had a ring at the front of the foregrip. You could twist it and slide it forward, and it would unlock it to pump. It was either forward or back. You slide it one way, and it unlocks it so you can pump it, and then you twist the ring and slide it and lock it back in place. Then it's in auto or semi-auto.
That's cool.
So the reason why it was like that is because less than lethal rounds, like rubber pellets and stuff like that, they're low-powered rounds, so they have less of a charge.
So they can't blow back and send the other round into the chamber?
Right. It won't kick over to the next round. It doesn't have enough power to cycle it. So that way it's just simple. Just twist and slide forward. You're in pump, mode. And then, then you just go. You got your less than lethal rounds. You can slide it back into auto and go.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it was.
Can I ask the gun noob question of the day?
Yep.
So is that the only is there any reason why for lethal rounds you would want to go to a pump rather than a semi? So if you're using lethal rounds, is that like a fair question to ask?
For just your standard load shell.
Yeah.
No.
Why would people go to a pump? And no reason to, right?
No, I don't think so. I mean, if you have a pretty reliable, if it's a reliable automatic, there's no reason to.
Okay, just curious.
Some people just like pumps. It's personal preference. But
sounds cool.
Yeah, right. But the reason why that one was convertible is for the less than lethal rounds.
Okay, makes sense. Cool.
Yeah. So I mean, with the M4, you would just have to do it with the charging handle. Because it has the regular. It doesn't have a pump function to it, so you cycle it with the charging handle. So it just makes it a little bit more of a pain in the ass.
Right.
Okay.
Like all the shotguns. I can't remember the type of shotgun that we used in the Army, but we did have less than lethal rounds over there that people kind of misused a little bit. They shot people with them when we were driving down the street that they shouldn't have. Yeah, it was a weird time.
You wonder why you get shot at. Not wonder why, but yeah.
That wasn't a typical behavior, but we kind of had some jerks over there. But all of the shotguns that we had were all pump, I believe.
That's hilarious and terrible at the same time.
Yeah, it's terrible. We did.
Hilariously terrible.
Yeah, I never did anything really bad, but I saw some bad stuff happen. Just bad behavior.
Shot people they shouldn't have.
Man, yeah.
Oh, man.
The war was still new. Everybody thought we were like in Vietnam or something.
Wow.
So anyway, I probably shouldn't have said that.
That's all right. Just don't name drop anybody. I think you're okay.
No.
Court martial coming up.
Like I said, this was years ago. This was back in 2003. So yeah.
That's awesome.
Anyway, so the sights are a military-style ghost ring and are adjustable in the field using only a cartridge rim. And the Picatinny the Picatinny sight rail on top allows both conventional and night vision sights while retaining the original sights.
Nice.
So the modular basis of the shotgun means that many of its features can be reconfigured as needed. It allows a user to quickly exchange the various assembly groups, barrel, buttstock, forearm, or foregrip, or everything, without the use of tools.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So preliminary testing of the M4 suggests a high level of reliability. It can reliably function for at least 25,000 rounds without replacement of any major parts.
Good night. 25,000 rounds with a shotgun?
Yeah.
That is insane.
The steel components of the weapon feature a matte black phosphated corrosion-resistant finish, while the aluminum parts are matte hard anodized. These finishes reduce the weapon's visibility during night operations.
Okay.
And it requires little maintenance and operates in all climates and weather conditions. So last I knew, this was the shotgun that Delta used.
Oh,
now,
really?
it might be different now. I've been out for a while, but yeah, this is a pretty popular shotgun. Like I said, it's reliable. It's highly modular.
Sounds like it's really good. I want one now.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. They're expensive. My M3 was my coming back from Iraq present to myself, and it was about $1,100.
Dang.
So it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
The reason why I ended up selling mine is because I was going to move back to Oklahoma after I got out of the Army. And out there, where my house is there, you can just go out in your backyard and shoot whenever you want.
Yeah, it's the same where I live.
Yeah. I live in Washington now, Washington State, you don't really get to do that.
Gotta
I live
different out there.
well. There's parts of Washington where that's just fine, but I live in Western Washington, up near Seattle.
Oh.
Yeah, you don't really get to do that. So, like I said, I sold it and got some music gear. That's right when I was starting the band and everything. But I did have it for a little while up here, and I would take it to some of the indoor ranges up here where they would actually let me fire it indoors.
No, that's cool.
And it was pretty funny because most of the indoor ranges are all handgun ranges.
Right.
And so I'd walk in there and everybody's with their little handguns, pop, 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 pop,
Yeah.
pop, pop. And I go in there and I just kind of look around. Nobody really sees me because they're concentrating on what they're doing. And
Yeah.
kind of get my gun out, load it up, and kind of look down the range and boom! And everybody, and then it's just dead quiet. People look out and they walk out like, "What in the hell is that?"
What are you shooting?
Yeah. So it was a lot of fun. When it was in, I actually put a magazine extension on it too, so I can't remember what I extended it to. I think I put a two round magazine extension on it, but I know that when it was in auto or when it was in semi-auto mode, I could fire 5 rounds before the first shell hit the ground.
Dang.
It was fast. That's in semi-auto.
Wow.
It was fast.
That's cool.
So I really wish I hadn't have sold it, but I needed money at the time,
Right.
and
Well, it sounds like you got what you needed out of it. So
it was a lot of fun. And this is back in the day, right when I got out of the Army. I probably was not in a mental state where I should have had a shotgun, so I was a little bit of PTSD, a
Right.
little too quick to want to
trigger
pull the
happy.
shot. Yeah, a little. So,
well, that's understandable. I mean,
yeah, but it's
Say one thing that shotguns do have their place in the dark zone. You've heard it here. So if you're not a shotgun person,
yeah, I'm super excited about that. I'm excited that they have, the realistic shotguns. I'm really hoping that they're as moddable as the other guns appear to be. Don't break your NDA. Don't tell me anything. But I'm hoping, just based on what we knew before the alpha came out, that you can do. I know I put up some pictures of the Remington 870 and all the different mods that you could do to it where it doesn't even look like the same gun.
Yeah.
I'm kind of hoping that there's some similar stuff in there. Maybe not to that level, but
Be pretty cool.
I do enjoy shotguns. I'm an assault rifle guy, but I do like shotguns. Shotguns are a close second for
Well,
me.
shotguns are fun in the game because I used it in the alpha, so I can say that. Or not the alpha, the E3
E3.
demo. Used it in demo. Dave's like, no, I used it in the E3 demo. Sorry.
And that was the last Rogue Agent Radio episode ever.
That would be so terrible. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for episode 11 of Rogue Agent Radio. We want to remind you to check out RogueAgentRadio.com, where you can find all of our links, whether it's YouTube, iTunes, Podbean, or Twitter. You can be sure to find it all there. If you want to keep up with all the hosts in between episodes, you can follow us on Twitter. Dave is at Deep Fried Dave. Doom is at Blessed Doom with an underscore. And yours truly is at Boomslaying with 2 G's and an underscore. I want to thank you all for listening, and thank you so much for all of your support. This has been awesome. Looking forward to many
Yes.
more episodes of this.
Thank you, everyone.
Yes. Thank you, Massive, for inviting me to Sweden. I had an awesome time. Hopefully I'll see you again.
They invited you? I thought you just crashed it.
I did. I basically just I got on a plane. It's like, are you going to Copenhagen? Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go with you.
I think maybe I might plan my honeymoon for Sweden, and we'll just show up and knock on the front door and
You
be like, "Hey
should.
guys."
You should do that. And I bet they would probably recognize if you said, "Hey, I'm from Rogue Agent Radio." They'd be like, "Oh, cool." You probably go in and look around.
I'll go in. I'll do the deepest voice that I can. I'll be like,
Dave.
you know me. I'm the guy with the voice.
Everyone will start falling asleep.
That would.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh well. Until next time, maintain radio silence and watch your corners, agents.